Scott, not some Azure certified solution.
Thanks.
Yeah, good job, man.
Thank you. I I've been battling insomnia since.
Is mine going, or what?
I have no problem falling asleep at like around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm like a grandfather, man. That's the time I usually go to bed if I'm alone. But then I wake up at like midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da! And then I'm like, mm. So I'll start playing some. You know what I try to fall asleep to? I try to fall asleep to Lex Friedman podcast,
No.
and then I'll just be in snooze mode. But I don't really fall asleep. I'm just in snooze mode, and this is like the fourth day. Yeah, I hope this doesn't become chronic because it sucks. Because then
Yeah.
like by the time it's like afternoon or 1 o'clock p.m., I'm like, I'm so tired. Oh, so.
Who knows? Maybe you could turn it into polyphastic sleep and then gain like 4 hours in your day or whatever it is.
Maybe I could turn into Pauly Shore instead. Dot, dot, dot. Pauly Shore. I don't know what polyphastic is.
Phasic maybe is the polyphasic maybe is actually the pronunciation. I don't
Oh,
know.
poly as in multiple.
Multiple phase. Yeah, so there's
I
a
heard you say Pauly. I'm like,
well, poly.
you have a Minnesota accent, man.
Yeah, watch if I say bag. No, it's a mixed bag. Yeah, no, there was this like practice of sleeping like only for like I don't know, it's like 20 minutes at a time or something like that. I can't remember. And you do that multiple times a day, and you'd eventually, you know, be able to live off of like a combined 4 hours of sleep or something like that. So I don't know if that fell off of. It was a trend for a while. Polyphasic, not fastic. It's phasic. Phasic. Yeah, you break it up into shorter periods. The Uberman sleep schedule: 6 20-minute naps spaced through the day, sleeping 2 hours a day.
Confused.
There's people who do this apparently.
You have a remote for? I disconnected my my high definition camera.
You disconnected, or you just connected?
I just connected it. Oh,
so
yeah.
you can zoom in on wherever the car.
So as soon as I finally, I mean, we already had a conversation about it, but that test is hard. Like, hairline receded like another quarter of an inch preparing for that test. Third time. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself if I would have failed the third time. I probably would have to get hospitalized. But
well, you didn't. So you didn't fail the third time.
Yeah, so now I've been consistently doing between half an hour to an hour a day for AZ 700, which is networking. I know nothing about networking at all. Everything I've learned as of Friday is based on me consistently for half an hour to an hour studying and watching videos on Tuesday. So had no clue what subnet is at all. I see it when I turn on my PlayStation and I go to settings. But I have no clue what it meant. Right. Routers, I only knew like within like my living room the function of a router, but never really knew about like the grand scheme of things, like what the function of a router is or routers are. Didn't know what a switch was. I learned that I've been doing my binary arithmetic backwards in the wrong direction. I thought that uh, when when converting binary value to base 10 or decimal, you read from left to right. I didn't know it was from right to left.
Hmm. Doesn't
Did you know
depend on
that?
the Indian. Doesn't it depend on the Indianness? Or am I
You talking about big Indian,
misremembering?
little Indian,
Yeah.
Epsidic? You talking about that stuff?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I only learned about that stuff when I was in mainframe programming.
But yeah, I knew that you
Hey,
you
thank you, Gambler.
read from right to left. So
I didn't.
you learned that in your computer science
I
courses.
did, but somehow I forgot about which direction you're supposed to look at. So I'm
I
busy trying.
suppose it's like
So I'm
how
busy.
often do you actually manipulate,
Well,
you know,
I'm trying to
bits?
calculate the number of registers that are available based on subnet and the subnet wildcard or subnet mask. And I'm like, yo, these numbers aren't adding up. I don't understand what I'm doing. Plus, I'm trying to do it in my head. Um, and then I started watching videos on calculating number of registers available.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
s-
we
why do I keep saying registers? Number of IP addresses available, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to do it in the other direction. Oh,
I took
okay.
a network programming course in college, and I think we did all that kind of stuff. But I could not, for the life of me, remember. I wouldn't be able to remember how to do it. So to save my life, gosh, my mind's
Yeah,
slow this morning.
you're not missing out. It makes you respect like the human race and the systems that they come up with. Like, I mean, you have to admit, like, okay, I have to admit that a binary number system in which you could represent any number through ones and zeros, to me that's still fascinating. I what per yeah, I don't understand how like someone conceived that. I'm sure to them it was probably like, well, yeah, I was constrained to that was like maybe one of very few options. But I don't know, I just find it fascinating that this is how they calculate the number of IP addresses based on the number of bits, and then well, translating a whole bunch of what do you call it, octets. I don't know what you is it called an octet?
I think so. Yeah,
255
bytes.
dot 255 dot
Yeah, that's a byte.
255.
That's a octet. Yeah, that's
Uh,
a byte. Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like I was in community college all over again, trying to figure out all this stuff.
Hmm. So, and that's so you can like remotely control an environment in Azure. I'm a little confused by all that.
It's so that you can configure your sub networks and
Okay.
plan for how many IP addresses over the lifespan of your uh, sub network. I like saying
Why?
sub network because it fits better in my mind than just saying subnet.
Why'd you pick that one for the
AZ
next
seven
thing?
hundred.
Yeah.
Um, because my thought process is the other option was AZ 400 security, and my thought process was it's highly likely that security is predicated or has some um, dependency on networking or has network dependencies. And if that's true, then I really should get a foundation, if not intermediate, like understanding of networking. And so I kind of view the AZ 400 certification as well. I'm probably not going to do well if I don't understand how to secure networks. What
Yeah.
do you
Okay.
think?
So like understanding ports and firewalls and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, because I mean the network is pretty responsible for security in a lot of ways. So all makes sense. Um, Yeah, it just seemed kind of like a weird next step, but now that you explain it, it doesn't. So there's a lot of certifications you can take for Microsoft. Dang.
It's a lot of expectations that these job descriptions require.
For a
I
role
swear to
of
God, man, for
oh,
what they ask for, we should be getting paid like surgeons. No disrespect to the surgeons and the people that save lives, but I feel like this is requiring like more than 10 years of like study just to know the entire breadth of what a job description or job role requires.
hmm. You could have taken Microsoft Certified Educator next.
Oh, the prerequisite is the 204.
Oh no, that's like I don't think there's a prereq on it at
It,
all.
it has to be.
No, this is like oh no, it's requires exams 62 through 193. Literacy for edu. Oh no, that's the exam that you take for the certification.
Someone did offer me a job contingent on me passing the certification to teach
Hmm.
Azure fundamentals. He offered me after my second failure of the exam, but I couldn't find his business card, so it looks like I'm gonna have to drive up there and give him my resume. But it's in the hood. I can't imagine them paying me more than like $35-$40 an hour. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to pay industry. I don't think I'll even get paid like $60 an hour, and that's like poverty. I know that sounds silly, but it is.
Yeah, I suppose where you're living it probably is.
Like they need legislation, man. $60 an hour, man. That's like forced labor.
Well, it's like double what not double, but
Man, like
considerably more than what the normal
how you
person
live off of
makes.
$100,000? Like who does that? Like especially if you're like in
Any
Miami.
people yeah, I was gonna say in Miami
How do I
maybe not,
maintain
but
my harem? Like I have no clue. $100,000. Buy toilet paper with that.
you
So
could live off a lot less.
in Detroit,
Yeah, well, in rural areas anyways. I mean, I was thinking like theoretically I could live off of considerably less. Like if I just went and got a normal job, I'd be fine with what I've got right now.
when the Great Tribulation comes, I'll probably hop on a boat to try to like increase my safety, but I'll probably get hijacked by like pirates. You're familiar with Great Tribulation, like from biblical terms?
No, no, is that the like
It's
rapture type stuff or what?
close to it. Um, Actually, I might be butchering this. It's so Satan gets let out of the abyss after um Jesus' 1,000-year reign. I might be butchering this completely. And Satan has one last opportunity, in theory, to steer people away from Jehovah. So yeah, there's like Armageddon, there's a Great Tribulation, and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
So I started reading the Bible the day after I completed my certification. I was told to read the book of Matthew, and I'm like, you know what? I'm agnostic, but because I respect your intelligence and you're like a solutions architect, and I find it inconceivable that you would be silly enough to believe in Christianity or any other mainstream religion because you're too smart for that. If you feel that strongly about that, Then all right, I'll read the book of Matthew as you highly suggest. So I'll bring a lounge chair to the beach, bring an umbrella, and I downloaded like the New World Translation on my phone, and I got up to chapter 9 of the book of Matthew. Not impressed. Maybe it gets better over time, but I'm doing my due diligence, man.
Did you mistake confidence for competence when it comes to religion?
Well, when I said that, when I was saying the person that recommended me
Yeah,
read it, uh, what word did I use? I thought I used confident. Like he had
yeah.
conviction that he claimed that book within the Bible changed his life, and I mean he's a really smart, analytical dude. So I mean, most Bible thumpers, mm, like I don't res- I don't respect their brain capacity because they don't require evidence. They just really want a warm and fuzzy feeling, and that's how they get through life by not taking responsibility for their actions. They just blame it on something they perceive as higher than them, and I can't really listen to people like that. Why would I? But I think this guy, I look at him differently just because of his his role within the tech industry. And I
Mm.
mean, in order to like have 20 plus years of solutions architecture, you have to be logical in the way that you think about things. So, why not dedicate probably the next, I don't know how long it takes. What, maybe 4 hours of my life reading a chapter or a book in the Bible? Okay,
Yeah, might as well. I mean, who
I'll
knows?
try. Then I'll have even more ammunition. Then I'll be atheist instead of agnostic, and I'll be an apostate, and I'll start going to street corners where people have bullhorns telling repent and be saved. I'm like, no, you don't have to. I read the book of Matthew. This be like
Oh my god. Uh,
I call the police department every single time I'm on the beach, and they try to pull that crap. I
Clearly,
literally
the
I
only
call
thing
the
you're
police
missing.
every single time. I don't want
Oh,
that, man. Can't be messing
clearly,
with
the only
people.
thing you're missing is you should be reading the 7 books of the Bible that the of the Old Testament that the Protestant sects removed. So the only one
Is
I can
that
ever remember is Maccabees.
is that conspiracy? Is that theory, or is that true?
No, that's real. So there were 7 books. They're called like the Deuterocanonicals, I think is what they're called. Um, Maccabees is the only one I remember.
You said the Old Testament.
Yeah, the Deuterocanonical books, or yeah. Anyways, so there are these 7 books or whatever. I think that the that were included in the and are included in the Catholic Bible, but aren't included in other Protestant ones. So
I used to be able to recite every single book in order. It was like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, First Kings, Second Kings, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles. I'm not sure if Leviticus comes after that. I used to remember. I had memor. How many books is it? It's 40 authors. Was it 27 books? I can't remember.
or maybe it's more like 10 books.
No, you have the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Oh
Is-
yeah, no, I'm talking about like the Deuterocanonical books,
Oh, okay.
or Deutero. I don't even know if I've been saying that right.
Well,
I
do
used to
those?
know a lot about this kind of stuff, but I've kind of let it go.
I
But yeah,
mean,
Maccabees is the only one I can remember because Maccabees contains the like a partial contains some partial proof or evidence towards the purgatory thing, which always became like purgatory. It was always a like one of the things that people would point to and be like, "Oh, Catholics are dumb." It's like, well,
Oh, that and dinosaurs, right?
yeah.
So, like, I mean, I think there's.
Well, I don't know. I think that evolution is compatible, and I think the Pope even said it's more than a theory. So, um,
It amazes me how so many people will rely on one person in a costume to say it's okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's I don't know. It's the thing is, evolution's never been incompatible with the idea of of creationism, with
So,
it, and specifically with the way that the Bible describes it. There's a lot of other stuff in the Bible that's more unbelievable or weird, like giants and
oh, you mean Nephilim?
like the like 12,000-year-old people or whatever. Can't
Yeah,
remember. I can't remember. There's like a whole listing of people who survived people, and they're like, and this one lived to be 700 years
I
old,
think it
and
was
this one was,
900, but yeah.
yeah,
Was it Evan? I can't remember the name.
yeah, I can't remember.
Um, I mean, I think there's perks to knowing the Bible, because then you could be a cult leader, and just like the book of what's Denzel was the book of the Denzel movie, the book of
Book of Eli.
yeah, the book of Eli.
They're
Like
making another. Is it a sequel or a series out of that? Something like that.
Denzel
Prequel,
needs to
maybe.
stop being a fighter in his movies. He's 80 years old. Like
It's not going to be Denzel though. Who plays it? I
good
think
because I'm
it's.
because they were trying to market the hell out of Equalizer 3, and I'm like, there's no way this old man is going to be doing like physical combat and knocking everybody out. I'm like, I don't know. I was getting annoyed.
Yeah, no.
Um,
There's
I want to
They're
be a
doing it
cult
with I
leader.
think the guy who played Finn from the recent Star Wars trilogy. Can't remember his
You
name.
should be a cult leader with me. I'm the reincarnation of David Koresh.
I think we should we'll start a cult, but then you have to take certifications and pay for it to get in. So like we'll design
Well,
a
for the
cult.
men, the women get in free. We take their wives. Remember, we're cult leaders.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have to take the CLT 204 exam. And
No, so I just learned that Jehovah Witnesses are now allowed to wear beards, like beards, right? And I'm like,
they weren't before.
no, they weren't before.
Oh, weird.
And I'm like, what elderly white man had to die in order for them to finally make that change? And I'm dead serious. Like, people have to die in order for like,
How could they
any,
change that? I mean, was it a
I think someone finally died, and then the next generation. Because I mean, this is why we have wars, right? You have to kill people in order to get what you want. Else, everything will continue to be status quo. Um, and so Jehovah's Witnesses, they really want to distinguish themselves as humble, clean, presentable, especially when they're um, focusing on attention on how to get close to or how to develop a personal relationship with their creator. But yeah, so now like I see photos of some of my siblings that are deeply rooted in that organization. They got rocking beards now. Pretty soon, man, they're gonna be having sleeves and cornrows. We'll see. So
yeah, I don't know.
I think
I
it's enough
guess I
about
guess
me.
the one Jehovah Witness I knew was always clean shaven, and I now I know why.
Yeah,
So hmm,
is he still one?
there you go. I don't know. I haven't talked to him for probably like God, what maybe
Was
like
it high school or
20
something?
years.
High school.
Yeah, yeah. We worked at a
Hey,
Hardee's together.
Gambler.
So
Hold on, did I say hi to Gambler already? Yeah, I did at the
no, I
beginning.
don't think you did.
I did because he congratulated me, and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought I did. My bad. Gambler is like my number one and only one viewer. He's probably a Fed.
Yeah, he's keeping track of you. He doesn't live in Switzerland. Or maybe he's like part of Interpol and he's
He
just
does.
making sure he records stuff so that if you
He
ever come
does
to
daily
Europe,
status updates. It's like, well,
that's the
Scott's.
meeting he has to run off to. It's
Yep,
like,
Scott's. Scott's web search history for this week. It's the same, believe it or not. He really enjoys the following sites, and yeah, in regards to his mastermind session with Sean. Yeah, he started talking about religion. That was a different behavior, but I think things are still stable with him.
although
Yeah,
he does want to become a cult leader, take all of our wives. So please note that down.
yeah, but you said that like we were going to like combine forces. I never heard of like a dual power like cult leader, like a cartel. It's usually like one dominant, and then you have it's usually a hierarchy. There's always one, right? Is there any type of organization that has dual peer equal leadership? I don't think so.
In the world or in
Yeah,
like,
in the
well, I think
world,
there
any
is.
type of organization. You have the Supreme Court.
Like they've had like places have had like co-CEOs and stuff like that, or like,
Outside of Supreme Court, like what other leadership has equal power
well, court
that's
isn't
shared?
leadership. So
It is leadership. They okay. The president could say he wants something, and if it's contrary to the rules that are established in the Constitution, the Supreme Court says, "Yeah, you're not going to get that."
yeah, that's good.
Okay, so they have power.
Yeah, they're not like a seat of leadership,
I
or
mean, they can't go to war.
they're not leadership. Or I thought you said leadership.
I did say leadership.
Yeah, I mean it's a powerful position in terms of it which it has to be by its nature has to be because it. Yeah,
Oh,
they've
okay,
got to
so
have the ability to
let's
rule.
spend 2 minutes debating this. Leadership is enforcing or not enforcing. That's a different arm. Leadership is establishing policies that others must follow. No,
No, no,
that's not leadership,
that's dictatorship.
which is a form of.
It's not leadership though. Leadership's more of a like a more of a it's a different concept. It's like inspiring people to follow you.
That's a form of leadership, just like dictatorship is a form of leadership.
No, that's a form of government.
What's his name? Jim Jong Un or whatever his name is.
Kim Jong Un.
He has leadership.
Well, he
Yes.
not really. I mean, people. He doesn't like
So
people.
leadership and a leader is two different things. Is that what you're arguing?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. You can be a leader but not have leadership.
Hmm.
To me, leadership is you have bad leadership or you have good leadership, but regardless, it's leadership.
Hmm.
Gambler, I need you to take my side.
He's given his report.
J. Edgar Hoover is still alive. How old would he be?
I don't
Like
know.
he was in.
Oh man, I'm all foggy headed
How's
this
it?
morning.
How's everything with your job? Oh, you got a puppy.
Yeah, I do.
You
Let's
still have
put
it?
it down. Yeah, yeah, he's still alive. Maybe I'll ping or go grab him at the end here and show him. But
You sleep
um,
right now. Well, he sleeps like 20 hours.
no, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. But no, my wife and kids are watching. They don't have school today for some reason. Um, but no, no, he's doing well. He's chewing on everything, and he has accidents in the house. But well,
He tore up some of your dress shoes.
oh man, he loves my freaking my slipper. I got a pair of slippers or whatever.
Yeah.
He loves them things. He'll fucking hunt them down and like grab them every time.
You didn't get a bone?
We got bones and toys and stuff, but he likes the shoes. So I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I'm
Is
like, I
this
should just go
scented?
buy a crap ton of toys and just hide them around the house and let him think he found them, you know, and
Hmm.
then he'll find those instead of all the things I don't want him to find. But
So he just pisses in the house, or he does both?
he did had his first accident last night, for the other for number two, but
Uh,
um,
at least it wasn't
he
diarrhea.
hasn't. Yeah, no, it was solid, but but I don't know. I took him out, and I don't know if I just didn't wait long enough or misread what he was trying to accomplish because he was just like ran to this wood pile and was just sitting in it or like digging in it. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Let's just go inside. So I picked him up and brought him in because he wasn't coming. So,
What's his
but
name again?
Reggie,
Okay.
what?
You couldn't give him a dog name?
Well, I mean,
It's like naming a dog Tyrone. Like, what?
well,
Is Reggie named after somebody?
sort of.
Okay.
So for some reason, and this was like like I don't know, it was a few years ago. I like teased my son. I'm like, you had a brother, right? His name was you ate him in your mom's womb, and uh, his name was Reginald or whatever. And I don't know why. I just thought it would be funny. Just came up
Mm.
with a random name. So then I would tease him like, "Hey, Reginald" or whatever, and he's like, "Reginald isn't real," and then somehow that turned into Reggie, and then Reggie for the dog. So that's kind of the tie back. But it was just this random thing I would tease my son about. So, but otherwise, he's not named after anyone we know. Although I found out after we named him that Reggie is a pretty common black name, and he is black, so at least.
Okay.
Listed names: Reggie, Tyrone, Dion,
Londell.
Londell, yeah,
Tyreek.
Lakeishua. No, I don't know.
No, that's a female.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a good dog though. So, um, yeah. Other than his chewing and stuff, he's pretty chill. I mean, he's seen our cat. He hasn't really like immediately tried to attack him or anything like that. He
Did
got
the cat
whacked a
try to?
couple times.
Did the cat immediately
Oh
try to
yeah,
attack him? Yeah.
not attack him, but defend himself. And so he got up to him and just whap.
He's gonna put
Takes
his
only a
eye
couple
out.
of those. Nah, he's learned already like to kind of give the cat space and so now he just kind of stands back from him and like does that like bark and like put his front down and whatever. So
Man, you guys have a lot of animals, man.
now we have two.
Oh, this is the outdoor cat.
That's an outdoor cat, yeah.
Okay.
For the most part, he comes inside every once in a while or whatever. We let him in because he sits at the door, meows or whatever, and we let him in. He'll hang out on the couch or something. But once the summer comes, he'll probably be a lot less because he needs to mouse. It's his
Mm.
job.
I've been watching a lot of tiger and lion cub videos. YouTube decided that that's very important to me to send me cub videos of lions and tigers.
Mm.
So I want one, but man, they get like 3/4 full grown in the first year.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that.
As soon as I get it, I'll have to discard it after like probably like 4 or 5 months, or else it'll like castrate me.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big cat person. I mean, I like our cat and stuff like that, and I'm nice to him and I'll pet him or whatever. But I don't know. There's people that are weird about cats.
They're cute when they're kittens, and then they're just selfish a-holes when they get grown up. Like,
Yeah, but you got to
I mean,
respect their
they could take care
intelligence,
of
though.
them. They could take care of themselves. So you could take a flight for like, I would argue like maybe probably up to 5 days, and they're straight. I mean, I don't know if they go crazy, but I mean, they still use the litter box. So
Yeah, yeah. cats will survive a pretty long time by themselves.
The only thing is
Actually, one
they
time
eat you if you die. Like they'll just eat you.
yeah, we went on like a thing once and like on a trip or whatever, and my wife's mom was gonna come over and watch the cats or like check on them every once in a while, and apparently we left him in our car because he jumped in. Like we didn't know he jumped in because when you have the back open, like he could jump in,
Oh,
and he was just fine. Not
oh
even
it was the
physically like
summertime.
it wasn't. I don't think it was in a hot summer. It might have been in the summertime, but it wasn't. That, but yeah, so now we're pretty cautious about making sure he doesn't jump in the back or like make sure he's not in there because yeah, when that tailgate's open, you turn your back to get groceries and you go and put them in, then you come out and get more, or whatever. He can jump in and then
I used to tie a tether from the child seat in my car to my gear shifter because I was that paranoid about leaving my kid in the car because I don't think I would be able to live with myself if I made that mistake.
yeah, no, I used to call my wife after she would drop him off, or not call him, I'd text him, or I used to just be like boy deployed or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
just and then if we didn't do that, but it was nice because like the daycare center would call you if they didn't show up, so that was always good. And then actually, her new car, it must sense when the back door is open. It'll ping to check the back seats
Yeah, mine does
for
that,
you.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, because yours is a Hyundai.
It doesn't matter because I've backed
Oscar.
into a pillar 2 times because my sensors didn't go off.
Oh
When
really?
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty that tether is a pretty good idea.
Well, I mean, look, I had got a puppy training for a parent a long time ago and accidentally left it out on the, well, it was a dog by then, but I accidentally left it out on my balcony and it was like 90 degrees outside and I closed the storm window so the dog didn't have had no way of getting back inside the crib. And I came back and he was just covered in like slime. His eyes was rolling to the back of his head and
Oh man.
yeah, so that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. No, we lost a dog I think to heat stroke or whatever. We went to work and we put him in a front porch area, but we didn't realize that the front porch area became basically a hot box when we were during the day. And my wife comes home and finds him dead. I was like,
Oh.
whoops. Like that was like one of the most tragic things
Yeah, I was gonna
we
say,
went
I'm sure
through.
it was way more traumatic than whoops.
Yeah, no, it was really like it took us. I mean, it was weeks basically before felt normal. I mean, it was just it was awful. Um, I still think about him every so often, and
Hmm.
it's just. I mean, we only had him for like 9 months or something like that. So not even that. It
What
was
kind of dog
like
was it?
3 months or something like. It was a French bulldog. So we named him like he had this great name. It was Pudge Packer, Professor Pudge Packer, I think was his name. Well, it was just Professor Pudge, and then my dad added Packer on the end um,
Okay.
for some reason.
Hmm.
I guess Pudge and Fudge sound too similar. So, um, but yeah, so we had a little funeral for him and buried him outside my wife's grandma's house. So
Oh, what does it feel like to have a stable job?
it sucks.
Does it?
Yeah,
The
I don't
grass is
want to.
always greener.
I want to. I want to just not work anymore.
That's
No,
some
that's
bullshit.
not true. It's like I want to work. I just don't want to work on shit that I have absolutely no care about. I don't know.
Influence.
Yeah. No, this it's weird with this. Usually I get pretty like into my job in terms of like I don't know,
Okay.
caring, but man, I'm just struggling to like have any sort of
Cannot find the hole without looking at it. Hold up. I'm trying to charge my laptop and I can't find the hole. Oh, because it's not over here. Oh, where is it at? Hold up. Yeah, hold up. Oh, okay. I found it. I'm in. All right, good.
but But yeah, engagement or whatever I think is the term. I have like 0 engagement. So
On LinkedIn, someone reported that stand-ups are only for reporting blockers, and I got like Tourette's. I'm like, ugh, no, I want to know what you got accomplished. I don't know what you're working on, and I think it's more than just saying you're stuck. Else, you'll just keep saying you're working on something. All right. I'm a hole when I'm in status or daily stand up.
yeah, we don't even have daily
I hold
stand-ups.
people to the fire. Like I take their ankles and I hold them to the fire to tell me what they got done.
We don't even
So,
have daily stand-ups at my gig.
what do you have?
So we don't have any.
You have
Like
retrospectives? No.
we have one retro every couple weeks, and it's just kind of it's not really like a sprint retro. I mean, it sort of is, but we have like a status meeting every like Monday or whatever. We just go through the list.
Gambler says, I'm working somewhat in dev tooling, so I have some relation to the tools I'm working on, although not all features. What kind of tools are you building that you're allowed to disclose? Or even if you could say at a high level. I still miss XAML development, even though it's arguably a pigeonhole job.
Yeah, is it dead yet, or is it still going?
No, well, Maui companies are now starting to migrate to Maui for their mobile applications, and WPF. It's just very niche.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very niche. I mean, because you still have tablets that you can like throw inside of a kiosk or convert into a kiosk versus having a dedicated Windows desktop. So,
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Gambler provided a link. We also work sometimes on tools published by other companies. I don't think I could copy paste using their UX. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. Can I do it from the screen? No,
I just highlighted it and right clicked on it and said,
I can't do it from my.
"Oh, when you click on it, it just like highlights it, so you can't like just."
No, it won't let me select the characters.
Beautiful math for Confluence.
That's interesting.
No more secrets for Jira.
What happens if I click the star?
Include dependency check for Bamboo. We value your privacy. I will accept your cookies.
Gambler, you work in the .NET shop? Yo, how do I uncheck this thing? Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought he said he was Java mostly, isn't he? No,
My condolences.
no. Was it Java? I feel like it was. Here, what can you be to be part of Gambler's team? They have continuous improvement, equipment,
Scala and TypeScript.
paid volunteer time, family time, and work-life balance. Dude, their careers page feels like off-center to me for some reason. I don't know why. It must be this monitor.
So Gambler does Scala.
Scala. Okay.
That probably keeps them
Dang.
motivated. Does Scala keep you motivated at work where like you still feel like you're like solving Sudoku puzzles, plug and play? I attempted to learn Scala and I got turned off by it. Sorry. F sharp just felt so much cleaner. Is Dottie still a thing?
Dottie. I'm not sure.
Dottie is was Scala 3.0, I think. Feel free to correct me, Gamler. He's probably still snitching on me. How long you gonna grow your beard out? Your mane?
I was thinking
Maine?
of doing
Is
it
it
till I
Maine
ran.
or Maine?
Maine.
MAME or MAIN? Mame,
It's Maine. Oh, I thought it's Mane.
Maine. Okay. How long you
Yeah,
gonna grow your
Maine.
mane out?
I was thinking about doing it till the marathon or until my wife freaks out on me or something. I don't know. We'll see. I just have no reason to cut it. Types, and more types and researches.
How old were you when you got married?
20.
You think that's one of the factors of your marriage lasting so long? Is a lack of experience, and so nothing to really compare to be unhappy about? It's a sincere question. I'm not trying to get into
Yeah.
a personal
No, I
relationship.
mean I have no idea. I don't think that's it. Um, I really don't know what the secret is for this.
Is it living in a small town and getting married young? Probably two factors.
Maybe I don't know.
Mm.
Um, could be just temperament too, my temperament or whatever. My wife's temperament, or
It
I don't
says,
know.
I'm okay with Scala. It's a bit too much of a researchy language for me. You know, it's weird how I can never discover my typos until I submit it, but it's easy for me to discover other people's typos immediately.
What?
It's weird.
It's a bit too much. Oh, because of the TOO.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They Scala, the Scala community has too much of a types and more types and research, and
Types.
it's
Monads for
me.
everybody.
I'm the same way. I'm in love with types. I'll have a type of a type of a type, and then I get myself in trouble with writing hella logic to extract like the nested value of the type of the type of the type. I tried to. Oh my god, it was horrible. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I tried to live stream me doing subnet
Smash your
mask
pass.
kata, and I couldn't. I kept fumbling over the binary translations. I couldn't explain the concept. I didn't even get to the code part. I couldn't explain the concept correctly,
Hmm.
so I had to delete everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have pretty strong foundation in just like regular binary, but once you start into getting into like the more complex areas of it, like binary arithmetic or overflow or um,
No, I was talking about the logic to compute the number of IP addresses from octets, right? Because one is network address, the other one is the number of hosts or something like that. Or no, not number of hosts. One is the network address. The other side of the four octets is the host, and from the host you compute the number of IP addresses. And I just couldn't explain it. I mean, it's a good exercise because it's going to reinforce my understanding of it. So
that's right. So an IPv4 has 4 oct. Have you done anything with IPv6 or I
no,
don't even know how it is, but
I mean, I
it's
would
got
assume it's
four
the same
octets, right?
formula. Yeah.
And then it's 4 octets. What do the 4 segments mean then? I can't remember.
It's 0 to 255 is
No, I
decimal.
mean so there's 4 segments, right?
Right.
192.168.0.1. Those each mean something, right? Or are they
Yeah.
just literally this is a
So
number?
so each octet that adds to 255 is a component, or it means that it's part of the network address.
hmm
And then your for for any of the octets that are less than 255, they represent the the host and the number of IP addresses that it can leverage. So IP addresses go from like 0 to I think 16 million something.
Yeah, be int max, wouldn't it be?
Your powers of two.
It'd be int
Um,
max, wouldn't it? Because it's a four bytes is a as Gambler's pointing out there is a
no,
32-bit integer. So it'd be int max would be your
yeah,
maximum, unless there's like some 000 or whatever's reserved or whatever. But
maybe you're right. So there's Class A, there's Class B, and Class C when it comes to categorizing the number of or the ranges of IP addresses available. Class A is kind of like your internet carriers. Class B is your mid to large organizations, and then that was Class B. Class C is small organizations that are up to like 512 IP addresses, I believe.
hmm.
Azure has 5 reserved IP addresses for any CIDR. You remember what that stands for?
CIDR.
Classless inter-domain routing. It's the notation for how many bits you're going to have to ascertain how many IP addresses are going to be available that you can then break down into subnets.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would need to revisit a lot of stuff on networking to understand all that.
So the internet was invented by Americans, right?
It wasn't it an offshoot DARPANet or whatever? It was a like a military application or originally, and then it
Yeah, I
became
think so.
part of the universities, and then it got into the hands of telecoms and stuff, and then it shot up from there.
Yeah, I
But
feel like this alien technology, as if like the Chinese or Japanese would have been the ones that conceived it.
no,
It just seems very advanced for Americans to come up with.
well, we were the leaders on computing for forever. I mean, if you read, I think it's like if you read Accidental Empires, they talk about how like the Japanese are really good at perfecting technology, but they're not great at innovating or creating new technologies.
You're gonna get canceled.
Well, no, that's just a thing. Like you take something like a stereo or whatever, and they make great stereos, and they and cars, and they make great cars, but they're not good at coming up with the idea of creating a car or whatever.
So why did they lose the Battle of Midway?
Why did they lose the Battle of Midway?
Yeah, you're not familiar with history? World War II?
Isn't that was it? No, what was the one where the soldiers like were abandoned at the island? That wasn't Midway, was it?
Okinawa?
No, the American
Iwo
soldiers.
Jima?
There was
Oh,
like a bunch of Marines stationed on an island, and then they got like basically abandoned by the military. But they
was it
like
like on a atoll? How do you say the word? Is it called an atoll? Atoll,
I
ATOL.
don't know.
Oh,
But I thought it was Midway maybe, but they kept sending like boats and ships and planes and stuff, and they just kept fighting them. And then, but this commander who was in his bunker didn't realize that they were winning, so he had them surrender.
mm.
But the Japanese all got freaked out because they thought we were all like that everyone in our military was like psychotic. What I don't remember. It's a pretty funny.
Barbarians.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah,
funny
the thing
story if
is,
you hear about it.
man, you surrender to Japanese, that's highly likely like death because
No, but
they were doing the death marches, and then whoever would
yeah,
like fall down to their knees would get shot.
I feel like they actually let them go or something like that because they were so because they respected them or something like that. Or I don't remember. It was an odd.
It's fake news.
It's an interesting story.
One story I did hear was there was a Japanese soldier that didn't realize. Well, I think his entire platoon got slaughtered, and he was on his own.
Oh yeah, and then he was there for like
20
40 years or
years.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't realize the war was over, and he kept on. He kept on like attacking or sabotaging people, walking through the forest, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I have to. There was a
I
movie about this place, but
mean, that's kind of funny, man. Like the war is over, and 10 years later, like you're still getting shot at, and you're like, "Yo, there's a serial killer out here somewhere." Like how do you? If that person goes to trial, I
oh, it was
mean,
Wake Island, I think. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out what type of court case that would be on Law and Order. Like it's analogous to like the Civil War, where 20 years later, a Confederate is still gunning down like civilians because he thinks the war is still going on because he's in some like I don't know. It'll be an interesting like Law and Order thing.
Oh, some of them were executed.
No, you mean the American POWs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never thought that. By the Japanese? Nah, the ones that introduced the term kamikaze, they executed POWs. I did not know that.
Yeah, they did.
So you don't want to surrender
But
to
yeah,
them.
the Battle of Wake Island. There's people who tell really interesting stories about it because it was.
I forgot what island I was in. I think I was in Bohol in the Philippines, or was I in Davao? I was in one of the islands, and I took a tour of a cave that had like shrapnel carvings on the walls from the Japanese soldiers that would like just detonate themselves
Hmm,
instead of surrendering. I want to go back, man.
do it.
Remember the movie Is it Locker?
The Hurt Locker. I
Like
haven't watched the Hurt
Hurt
Locker.
Locker, where he's like in the grocery store back in the States, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he's just at the grocery store, and everything is just civilian and boring, and he's having a hard time adjusting to civilian life, and so he just signs up again and goes back to Iraq and disarms bombs and shoots people and stuff. It's a good movie. Both movies were good. I mean, I never like been a soldier, but American Sniper and Hurt Locker. How do you adjust back to civilian life and deal with
I
the
don't know.
third world bougie problems that people complain about and watch news on CNN and Fox News, and you're like, and you've been on the other side of the world, and you just don't feel right.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's a lot of veterans who are no longer with us.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. Um,
is that number getting reduced or it's consistent or growing?
I assume it's consistent or growing, but you'd think that after a while, like, because I mean, I suppose there's still some people who have been in Afghanistan, but Iraq's been over for how long now? Like,
Iraq ended, I thought, in 2014.
yeah, so it's been like 10 years. So, but I suppose it's not something that ever leaves you. So I don't know. People probably struggle every day. I mean, it was a while before my brother-in-law. It was a pretty long time between when he was in Iraq and when he finished himself. So, but
Was he silent about it, or did he kind of let people know that he was struggling?
silent about as far as I know. Um, I mean, he never really talked about it, but yeah. So, but it's a sad story.
Yeah, I'm sad. Change the subject. I saw on the news that you were right. I thought you were joking with me that the first round pick for the Democrats to replace Biden is Michelle Obama. I'm like, only in America would this even be considered.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was. Well, I know she was like. But I've only really heard Gavin Newsom's. Ha- that's
Only in America would someone that has no experience in participating in the leadership of a state or a country be the number one pick for leading. And obviously, like they're preying on women and minorities to vote ignorantly.
well,
It's a popularity contest instead
she
of
did
like logic.
implement this great and wonderful
Food for school children.
food for schools children that
Yeah,
sucked and every kid hated and every kid went hungry for because they're not feeding enough calories. So it was a pretty bad, like, they're just crap that people wouldn't eat. It was
they should just make it illegal. They really should like just eliminate Democrats.
no, I mean, there's a lot of good Democrats out
No,
there.
not kill them, but just eliminate them as a party. As in, no, like they should treat Democrats as communists. Have a witch hunt.
Yeah, my wife just came in and said something, so it was like
They literally prey
processing.
on ignorance.
Well, not all of them.
California is a failed state. New York is becoming a failed state.
Yeah, New York is
And these are
ridiculous. That
policies that are about feelings instead of research, data, statistics.
yeah,
And it's Democrats that consistently do this. And they rely on people that don't make logical or informed decisions to keep voting for it.
yeah. Again, was right. Like in Europe, Democrats would be considered pretty right leaning. Some of them, and we've got like tiers of. There's Democrats that are very centrist. It's basically how much do you want government control, and
I wish
there's
black people
libertarian leaning.
I wish black people would wake up.
I think they are. Trump
No,
will. They'll come out for Trump, dude. With the little
I wish
the
black women
immigration
would wake
issue.
up.
With the immigration issue, it's like I think there's a lot of black people that are in like cities that are getting pissed because the immigrants are
Harlem,
coming in
yeah.
and
And
they're
they're
getting
getting like
all of like
first class treatment, and the
yeah,
homeless people are like still peasants.
and they're like, what the hell? Like we need we need services. We want free housing and
Yeah, you know what my response would be
a thousand
though?
dollar gift card to buy food.
Yeah, you know what my response would be though is you were born in a country of opportunity. You effed it up. These people weren't. They
Well, we
can't.
don't know that they aren't. They could.
Yeah, true
Yeah, we
point.
don't know any of them are. A lot of them aren't Mexicans. Like they're not.
Yeah, they're Chinese. They're
Like that's what like Mexican immigration was.
Haitians. They're Africans.
Yeah, they're all over. Ukrainians, they're Russians. Everything's coming in.
You know, I think. Yeah, I think Trump is likely to have he'll likely increase the budget for ICE, and then I could volunteer to be an ICE agent,
Yeah, well, it'll be
start
interesting to
kidnapping
see what
people and deporting
happens
them.
when he gets in again, assuming he does.
No,
If
'cause
they
it's like
if they keep running Biden, I don't think there's unless they cheat. Like I don't see that there's any way.
it boggles my mind that this is America. It really is a laughing stock. It
Uh,
really is.
I don't know.
You don't think America is a laughing stock? When people said I'm American when they would be overseas in a foreign country, it was like something that was prestigious, right? And I'm talking about like from the 80s and prior. Now you say you're American, people like. uh. Anyway, Todd, what are you saying? Like, like it's not. You no longer have like this. It's something that's no longer of like what's the word I'm looking for? What do you call the Ivy
Badge of
League
honor.
schools?
Oh,
Prestigious.
prestigious.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I don't know. It was. I guess that prestige probably came out of post like World
it's a
War II
first
because
world
we
bottom of the barrel.
we saved Europe and then we forgave all of its debts and and just like nobody did that.
and gave them nuclear secrets.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess I'm still proud and fine to be American. I don't a lot of what people like uh see in the news and stuff like that isn't your modern like normal everyday what we do. I mean, it's
You're proud that your children are going to be held accountable for paying the national debt that they had nothing to do with, but we kept on voting for politicians to print money and defer it to other generations because we don't want it to be our problem. You're proud of that?
well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of countries are in debt unless they've got a lot of exports, but um and most of it's actually back to ourselves.
China's in
I
debt,
don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know that.
or do we owe China?
I don't know that that even matters. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't think it's too big a deal. We freak out about a lot of things, but it's really like you're not gonna like what's gonna happen. What happens? You know, we
Well, how
become
much in debt
poor.
do you have to be,
We
and how
have
much
a lot
money?
of the thing is the United States has a lot of natural resources. We're not like if we wanted to, we could spike up the ground and fill the world with oil and
We have
resources and stuff
$34 trillion
like that.
worth of oil under the ground.
Yeah. We've got
Okay.
I mean, it's the thing is we have more resources than China does. China's actually like most of its coastline is where their resources are. A lot of it's desert and stuff like that. It's like they don't have farmland. We've got tremendous amount of
I
farmland.
thought they were feeding North Korea.
No, I mean a lot of their grains come from us, I'm pretty sure.
Who's feeding North Korea? I could have sworn it was China.
Well, I'm sure they are. But anyways, I'm gonna go grab my dog quick and bring him in just because
Okay.
he'll be done here soon. I don't know if my wife just said that she left him outside to go to work or what, but I'll be right back.
Where it says most countries are in debt. China is also super in debt. Most of this money is owed to itself. Most of the money is owed to itself, as in, like, for example, defense spending and borrowing money, or not even borrowing money, spending money that it doesn't have uh, to purchase or to purchase weapons from internal weapons or United States weapons dealers, suppliers, should I say?
Ugh.
Hey, Cujo. Hey,
Should I set
you.
him up to be a developer? He can just clack on my keyboard all day.
Oh, I can barely see his eyes. He's so black.
Yeah,
Hey, Reggie.
I should have named him Gamlor.
Why?
I don't know, but
It's
yeah, he's
Does he bark?
yeah, he barks a little bit, but only when there's stuff around. He doesn't really bark, just to bark. But
Mm.
he's got some big paws, so he's gonna be a big boy, I think.
What's their life
And
expectancy? Oh,
I think
it's a mutt, so you don't
he's a
know.
mutt. We don't really know, but probably like 12, 15 years, hopefully.
Mm.
So, but he's mostly black lab, I think. But he's got this because he's got sisters or siblings that you look at you would say it's a black lab, but he's got this snout on him. He's got a beard, and then he's got this like snout like this. It's more of a terrier look. He's got kind of like some wired hair too. So, but yeah, he's a good boy. Gambler spelled dept, and then he spelled debt.
Department,
Oh,
debit.
he spelled department twice. Hmm,
It's a cute dog.
yeah,
Are you gonna take him ice fishing with you?
yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know because ice fishing's a little. Well, I guess it depends on where we go and stuff. But I don't know how I would like house him unless I just brought him out and let
You
him run around.
tether him to your chair.
Yeah, But when are you gonna get your new mini bull terrier?
The responsible thing to do is until I get some income coming back in. There's no miniature terriers in Florida. I check the market like every 2 weeks. There's none in Florida. They're in like California, Texas, like North Carolina, and I don't know what the experience would be to try to have a dog shipped to me. Like I don't even know if that's a thing
Yeah, I don't know.
because
Like I think they do it,
I don't think
but
I'm willing to pay for a round trip flight to pick up a dog, and I have to register that dog as an emotional support animal just to put it on the plane with me so it doesn't ride in cargo.
I'll just drive your vehicle out.
I'm not. I'm proud of the 8,000 miles I have on my car. I am not putting miles on my car. That car is pristine. I had
You
almost
wouldn't
3 years. I
go.
got 8,000 miles on it.
You wouldn't go another 1,000 miles to get a pick up your little puppy.
I thought about driving to Cape Canaveral to watch a rocket launch a couple of days ago, but I got busy. I'm going to do that though. You should watch a rocket launch. Bring your children and go to like Disney World and then watch a rocket launch around that time.
They don't launch rockets around here. I'd have to drive all the way down. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe next time I go to Florida, I'll
It's
have to
California,
plan
Texas,
around it.
and Florida.
Where do they launch in California at?
In Air Force Base. I forgot the name of it. They had one last week.
Oh,
I asked me how I know.
how do you know?
Because I went out to the beach at like I went out to the beach. I think it was like around 11:30 at night, thinking that the rocket launch was going to take place. So I'm like just out on the beach by myself, standing with my phone out on YouTube, uh, observing the video of a live launch preparation, T minus whatever. And then they started counting down T minus five, four, three, two, one, and liftoff. All right. And I'm like, all right, bet. So it's like a 4 hour drive, 4.5 hour drive to Cape Canaveral from where I live. And so I would expect probably within 1 minute, I should see an orange glow or a fire like in the night within 1 minute. And that would be the rocket. And I would be excited to catch the stage separation. 1 minute went by, 2 minutes went by, 5 minutes went by. I'm like, I should be able to see something. All right. And then I
Yeah.
found out that the rocket launch was in California. And I'm like,
Oh, there
crap.
you go.
Yeah. So that's how I know. I'm into stuff like that.
Hmm.
I got astronomy binoculars or astronomer binoculars. Like I'm into stuff. Like yeah.
You have a big telescope.
I was going to get a Dobsonian. Yeah, Dobsonian, but I held off on it. Those are about $800. They're pretty big. I was going to get an 8 inch, but there's so much light pollution here in Miami that it's probably only its only use would be to stare at the moon or stare at Jupiter, maybe Venus, and if I'm lucky, Saturn. But you're not going to be able to catch like nebulas or anything like that.
So you don't see stars when you go out, like at night, and look out your window.
You see like you'll see the Big Dipper and stuff, but I don't think people get telescopes to look at constellations. They get telescopes to look at uh, nebulas or planets.
Hmm.
I did see a meteor that night, so um,
A falling star. Did you?
yeah,
Did
yeah, I
you?
saw that.
Did you make a wish? Was it? I will pass my Azure cert.
I didn't even think about that tradition, but
Yeah.
I was like, it was like, I was like, and I looked around and like no one else was there to observe it.
Mm.
It was the same thing when
All
I
right,
saw a stage
buddy.
separation like last year. It looked like I thought an airplane had blew up in the sky, and I'm like, and I'm on the beach at like 7 o'clock in the evening or 6 o'clock in the evening on the beach. And I'm like, and I'm the only one staring at the sky, and I see like this like separation of some aircraft,
Hmm.
and everybody else didn't care. They were busy doing their selfies and being gay. And I'm like, and then I found out it was a rocket launch and it was a stage separation. So
Oh, cool. Hey, did you watch any of the Starship launches, test launches? I don't know
I didn't watch them
where those
live.
are.
I didn't watch them live, and
Are
I
those in
only
Florida though?
no, that's in Texas.
Oh, that's in
It's
Texas. Okay,
California, Texas, and Florida where they
I
have
thought it was
rocket
in
launches,
Florida.
but the Starship is in Texas.
Okay.
The Falcon 9s are here in Miami, or not Miami, Cape Canaveral. And is it United Space Alliance? I forget, but I mean, some of them are here in Cape Canaveral, Florida, and others are at the Air Force. Is it St. Andrew or is it? I don't know. Andrews Air Force. I don't know. Whatever Air Force
Oh,
Base
maybe Andrews. Yeah.
in California, they do the rocket launches out there.
Hmm.
You should add it to your bucket list. I'm serious. The only caveat is because of where you live, you may buy your kids and yourself a round trip flight to check out a rocket launch, and hopefully you have other things lined up within that state or that city. And then you'll be like me. In my case, I drove like 5 hours, and then the rocket launch got canceled due to weather or due to like some like maintenance issue. And I'm like, I drive 5 hours all the way back. A waste of gas, a waste of mileage. In this case, I drove my motorcycle, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we went to there, we'd be in Orlando. So I mean, there's a ton of things to do in terms of. I don't think. I mean, we've done Universal and Disney now. We'd probably do like, I don't know, is it SeaWorld maybe? But we usually spend a day or two at the beach as well. So
With Daytona Beach.
we went to Daytona last time. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever had waves that have been like actually kind of tall, where they ram into you. I was kind of freaked out because I was worried the kids would go out and get pulled out. And my one of my sister-in-laws, man, she just kept getting hammered over, and she was trying to get back to shore, and she just every time she'd stand up, boom, she'd
Mm-hmm.
fall back down, boom. I thought she was gonna get pulled away, but she eventually got out. But
I got caught in a rip current before. I almost died. I had like PTSD for like the next 6 weeks. I mean, it finally went away, but it
yeah, that
was
happened to my
scary.
brother-in-law too. He said it was. You gotta swim sideways.
I didn't know that. I grew up on the lake. I didn't grow up in the ocean.
Well, I mean, I don't. They have riptides on Superior, which is where my brother-in-law got pulled into one. But he said there's signs all over that basically to say if you get pulled out in a riptide, swim sideways or something like that. So swim sideways to
Um,
save your life.
I didn't. I didn't.
But yeah,
Me
I can
being an
imagine.
engineer, that wasn't the first thing I thought about when I was being sucked further and further into. I thought, as far as I was concerned, my body was being taken to the Bahamas because I just kept going back and back and back. And I'm like, there's no way I could swim back to shore. The harder I try to strong arm and swim, the further I get back. And it's like,
How far
yeah,
did you get pulled out before you got broke free from it?
man, shoot, I
Like
was I
right
was
there, right?
probably I was probably maybe 30 to 40 yards away from shore and in choppy water, and
Hmm.
I was struggling just to keep my head above water. And I was out there probably for this is probably less than 5 minutes, but that's 5 minutes of me trying to swim back, and I was exhausted. I gave up, and out of nowhere, there happened to be a kite surfer. Happened to be one person that just happened to see me and asked me if I was okay, and I'm like, and he strapped me onto his harness and he pulled me to shore. Else, that was it. I
Wow.
would not be here.
Without the kite
They wouldn't
surfer,
have
huh?
found my body probably for like a couple days. My eyes would have been sucked out, decomposing. My family wouldn't know about it probably for another like 3 weeks. Like, I thought about all this as I was preparing for my death. Yeah, it was scary as hell.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
that's not how I wanted to go out. I said to myself, I'm like, damn, out of all the ways that I could have died, like I don't know, catching cancer or catching some disease or getting shot, I drown. This is how I'm going to go out. Like, eh,
Yeah, that
damn
would
it.
suck.
Yeah. So
Well, he
yeah.
found a Nerf dart now. He finds shit like I don't know what this is, but he finds this like ball with Velcro on it. Don't have
Why,
no
why
idea
do you
where
have
it
a
is.
ball with
Brought it
Velcro
in. Don't know.
under the couch or
Find it.
something?
I think it's part of a game maybe because it looks like it would be
Is that
something
your
where you
cat's
throw
toy?
it. I don't know. It looks like it'd be part of a game where you throw it at a board that's the other side of the Velcro and you're trying to like a dart style game maybe. But this is FUBAR now, so
How much exercise? I know we're about to hop off. How much exercise does a dog require? I understand it's a mutt, so you can't really research.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, labs and them are supposed to get a lot of exercise, but I literally try to walk him and he just doesn't get the concept yet, I
Yeah, mine
think.
neither.
He like sat every time
Mine
a
would
car goes by,
protest.
he just sits down, and then like we got a little bit too far away. He sees he thought the neighbor's house was our house, I think. And then like I started trying to go back to our house and he just sat there like nope, not going to move. So I had to pull him. And then
You,
eventually he
you don't
got
have
the
a choke
idea.
chain?
I got a choke chain on him.
Okay.
I'll probably get a normal leash or collar at some point. I just bought it because I wasn't sure how big he was. But yeah, he doesn't really get walking yet. So, but I want to train him, get him up, and I want to get it to the point where he can. Might be a year, but where he could go on runs. So I see people that wear like those. They'll wear like a belt that has a
Hmm.
attachment for it, and then they'll have their dog run with them.
Well, I used to just tie the leash onto my belt
Yeah,
and run, but
I gotta get this dart
my
away
dog
from him.
would tap out after like a mile, and then
And
I would have to carry her.
another Nerf dart beats the dust or bites the dust.
Do you have a fence in your backyard?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we've got a fence, so
The
we
dog
can.
didn't dig under it yet.
No, no, he's explored a little bit around it, but he hasn't.
Mm.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll
So,
let you get back to work. It's been real.
yep. All right. Good luck on your AZ 700.
Oh, that's not for another 6 months. I'm just doing half an hour to an hour of due diligence. So
I gotcha.
see you again,
All
Lord.
right. See ya.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Bye.